Hello there. Welcome to On the Beat, the podcast that uncovers full frontal male nudity in cinema. My name is Laura, and I am joined by my co-host Ryan.
Hello.
And are also joined by our special guests, Kat and Josh from Uncomfortable Brunch. Hello to the two of you.
Hello.
Hi.
How's it going?
Frequent guests, thanks for always coming over when we ask.
No problem.
Yeah, we're always available to talk about dicks.
Yay! The dick thing is, it's not too much of it. But it's in the 1972 experimental psychological drama, The Other Side of the Underneath, which is an Uncomfortable Brunch film that is showing, well, that has already shown, because this is coming out after. So everyone has already seen
Back
the movie.
to the
so
future.
They can enjoy.
Yeah.
You've seen
Timey-wimey.
it. Now you can unwind and think about it and be like, what did I just watch?
And nothing we're going to say is going to help you understand it at all. The film was directed by Jane Arden. Starring is hard to say because it's like a interesting collaborative group experiment. But some of the people in this film are Sheila Allen, Anne Lynn, Penny Slinger, and Jane Arden herself. And the synopsis that I pulled from Letterboxd is one beautiful sentence. A therapist looks into the mind of a woman diagnosed as schizophrenic and finds, not madness, but tortured sexual guilt created by the taboos of society.
Pretty accurate.
Before
Completely
we-
understandable from start to finish.
Yes, absolutely
Yes.
comprehensible. And why don't you tell us about our director, Ryan, before we
Yes.
dig in?
Okay, so Jane Arden, she's a British film director, actress, singer, songwriter, and poet.
Wow.
She joined movements for feminism and anti... Like, he just comes up and...
Masculinity just ripped through.
He did,
That's
he did.
not appropriate right now.
Sorry, Jane. She joined movements for feminism and anti-psychiatry. She is very much known for her feminism film and radical theatre, but unfortunately she died of suicide at the age of 55. So I guess if we want to look at her selected works, just due to the fact that there's a lot of directorship, co-directorship, like uncredited roles and stuff that she has, we can start off with Separation in 1968, where she's also the writer and the actor. Obviously, we have this movie, The Other Side of the Underneath, from 1972, where she is the writer, actor, and she is the sole director of this piece. And we also have Anti-Clock from 1979, where she's the writer, composer, and co-director. There's also Vibration in 75, and that's a short film where she's also the co-director, writer, cinematographer, and also the editing. But yeah, there's a little bit of TV as well. Some of her acting credits that are quite vast. But she's also quite a consistent writer as well. So there's a lot there. We kind of just focus on the movies. But yeah, there's a fair amount there.
What was the first one? Is it this one? Is it Vibrate? No, that's short.
Vibrations was short. She did write Separation, which Jack Bond directed, but she basically had a hand in the directing in an uncredited capacity. That was the first feature that they did together.
She wrote plays.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. That's
So if you want to talk about the plays that she wrote, that they have some interesting titles.
Oh, do you want to name? Well, I know what. This film is loosely adapted from Jane Arden's 1971 multimedia stage piece called A New Communion for Freaks, Prophets, and Witches. So that is what this came from. And I think something that's really, we've already basically said it, but this is the only British feature film that was solo directed by a woman in the 1970s, which is odd, you know? Like, what was going on there? And why is it that with the three films that she kind of had a hand in, this one kind of stuck in the middle is the only one that, like, Jack Bond didn't really have his hands on as much. Like, he produced it, yeah. He produced it, but the other films were co-directed, and So I think it's interesting that this one was just kind of her project and hers alone.
Yeah, versus the two of them, because they seem to be like a team.
Yeah. I was watching some of the kind of features and what was it, like the introduction to the film on the Severin collection that this film is in, which is the House of Psychotic Women. And how do you pronounce her name properly? Kirla Janice?
Yeah, Kirla Janice.
She said a lot of interesting things, obviously. It's a great collection to pick up if you guys don't have that already. But I know you do, Josh. But she said that it was rumored that Jack Bond and Jane Arden were lovers. So I don't know. I don't know what that's about. Why not, you know?
Right. Yeah, it was actually really cool. She and I were able to email back and forth a little bit when we booked the film.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because I wanted to chop down some of that introduction and use it kind of in lieu of a trailer, because I feel like her introduction to that was really, really strong.
Right.
It's like 9 minutes long, so but I wasn't sure if what the logistics behind that were. I didn't want to just do it, so shot her an email through her website, and she got back right away. So yeah, that's cool. She seemed like really into anybody was showing it.
Yeah.
Yeah, very, very nice. She wrote a book, House of Psychotic Women, that box set came out in conjunction with Necessary Reading. Just great book.
I thought, because I assume you have that book.
Yeah.
I was thinking about picking it up as well, because it's really interesting.
It's really good. She did a 10-year anniversary reprint of it. I saw her speak a couple years ago now, I guess. But she talked about doing a re-release of it after only 10 years. And she's like, well, the real big thing that was a difference between 2012 and 2022 was that there were more rape revenge movies being directed by women. And so there's about 100 pages worth of information there that she's like, based up just because of what the book is about.
Right.
It seems silly to omit that at this point, where it just wasn't as relevant when it originally was published. So she was great, but in any case, she was really, really wonderful, and basically said, it's under we have a contract that it's Blu-ray only, but just don't advertise it. Like, all right, yeah, no problem. And it's not like we're using it as an advertisement. I mean, we're it's fine. It's fine.
It's not gonna
Yeah.
bring in the masses. Because
Yeah.
For that intro. I wondered, I think I know which one of you pitched this one for Uncomfortable Brunch. Had you heard about it, Kat, before?
No. He was just like, we should show this, and he gave it to me to watch, and I watched it. I was like, this is insane. Yes, let's do it.
So
did you read about it in the book first, Josh?
Yeah, I had read about it over the years, and actually, I don't even know if it was specifically from the book, because it was one of those titles that it didn't get released a proper physical release, I think until like 2009.
Yeah.
So it's one of those that I just heard about a little bit, but never had actually seen.
Well, like after her suicide, I guess like Jack Bond was kind of like keeping the collection of films that she worked on, like just in his own private archives until like way later.
It was like the year after she died, because she passed away in 82, and in 83 there was a national film tribute to her where they publicly screened the films, which they hadn't done before,
right?
Like since maybe they came out,
right.
And then BFI restored them in 2009. So I think that was the first time.
Just got like locked away in the Jack Bond vault, like the Disney
sad.
vault.
Which I don't know. I mean, I don't know the story.
Guy.
I don't know the story behind it, but in a lot of ways that might have been beneficial, because I'm sure he kept him in good condition.
That's true.
Those aren't exactly titles that they're titles that could disappear into obscurity pretty fucking quick. I don't know. I have no idea. Maybe he was obsessive and crazy and didn't want to share her. I don't know. I have no idea. But him doing that probably did keep pretty pristine 35 negatives and proper storage.
Yeah. And also like helping them become almost mythical. Absolutely. So that people are like, oh, this is a film that nobody has access to, and then as soon as they do have access to it, it's kind of like diamonds. They're like, ooh.
Yeah.
Like The Clown That Cried. Can't wait. You know about this, right?
No.
The Jerry Lewis movie. Oh, I've heard different accounts of whether it was finished or not, but it was meant to be a drama.
Oh my God.
Like it was semi-uplifting, but like ended up being super tone deaf, where he plays a Jewish clown that makes the children that are being taken to be executed be more upbeat, not knowing that that's what's going to happen. and he kept it in his private collection and said that it was not allowed to be released until X amount. I think it was like 10 years after his death, which it has been that amount of time. And actually, apparently, it exists. The National Film Archive has it.
Someone saw and they were like, no one needs to see
it was Jerry Lewis that said it. Jerry Lewis pulled it. It was written and directed and starring him, and he said, I'll never release this. The only person I know off the top of my head who's seen it in its entirety is Harry Shearer has seen it and talked about it.
Wow.
Which is kind of weird. But yeah. So in any case, yeah. So keep your eye out.
We can't watch it.
Not yet. I don't know. But I'll let you know whenever it comes available.
We need to do like a national treasure.
Because I definitely...
We have to go in and steal it.
Right. Because I keep up on this. Like, I'm very interested in when
this... for the clown.
Yeah, Jim DeSantis and I talk about this once a month, probably, I'd say.
In your monthly meetup?
Well, no, we bullshit easily once a day. So, but actually, I'm almost willing to bet that it's in recent conversation. Let me see.
We're going to have like a live text reading.
Look at that.
What?
Thursday. Full cut of Jerry Lewis is The Day the Clown Cried, found after 45 years lost. And he just said, stop fucking with us. See, we talk about this a lot.
When was that?
Thursday.
So for context, that was 2 days ago.
Yeah.
It is now Saturday.
Wow. Okay. Well, now I don't know. I want to see. But that happens all the time where there are those random films that are just kind of like found. Wasn't Miami Connection one of those? In a weird way?
I think so, yeah.
It was just kind of like sitting around and someone helped. No, there's other ones. There's like a ninja movie that was like that. Someone found it and then they like kind of recut it.
Right.
And it's like lost in the masses.
Bat Pussy. That's what comes to mind immediately. Oh, you've never seen this?
No.
Oh, man, I got to lend you that. It's outstanding.
Oh, but it's out, but it's available now.
Oh, it is available, yes.
Bat Pussy?
Yeah, this really has nothing to do with what we're talking about with Jane Arden, so we'll go off this tangent later.
It relates to obscurity and like things being locked away.
I guess.
So it's tangentially related.
Do you want me to tell you what Bat Pussy is?
Yes.
Yes, I think the people want to know.
Okay.
I'm people.
In the back of in a storage area of a hardcore porn theater, I believe outside of Nashville, as I recall, definitely Tennessee. Somebody purchased. There was a huge amount of 16mm prints, one of which had no heads or tails on it, so there was no title and no credits outside of Bat Pussy. And it is very much it's definitely made in the early 70s. There's a couple who seem like they were cast by John Waters that are just yelling horrible slurs at each other while naked trying to have sex, but he never gets erect enough for there to be any real penetration. And it's just her like calling him like gay slurs and all these like horrible things, and him just like saying how bad her pussy smells and really shitty weird. And this goes on back and forth for the length of the entire movie, which is about 65 minutes. But intercut with that is a woman dressed as the Adam West Batman who catches wind that in Gotham City someone is going to make a porno tape, which apparently are these people, even though they never show a camera in this room at all. And so this Batman parody has to find them, I guess, and by doing that there's they're on like one of those bouncy ball things, the handle.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, it's bouncing on that. And this is probably about 3 or 4 minutes of actual footage of this intercut with these trashy people screaming at each other while trying to fuck. Now, what's really interesting about it, though, is that it's totally inept. Horrible, horrible filmmaking. Doesn't make any sense. Who is this for? But there's no credits on it. So the internet sleuths have gone crazy trying to figure it out, where it came from. And they've done some really good research on it, where it's like one of the magazines that's being read at the beginning, they figured out what issue it was. So it's like what had to have been made after March 1971. And one of the actors has a tattoo on his ass that is a mascot of a local football team.
Oh my God.
I think it's high school, actually, so it's of... I think, as I recall, it was kind of like on that Texarkana border area. So, like, they figured out region-wise where it is, and it kind of makes sense for their dialect, and it's really funny.
Wow.
So, yeah, but there was a Blu-ray release of this that Something Weird and Vinegar Syndrome put out that I very excited that I have. So I'll lend it to you. I make people watch it all the time. I've watched it with at least 3 people. It's awesome. Like, I actually kind of want to watch it with y'all. Like, it's much better to watch it together because it's awesome.
And not just alone.
By yourself.
Because it's not sexy.
No.
There's never any moment where you'd be like, maybe I shouldn't be watching this with my platonic friends. But no. No. Yeah.
And now you can get Bat Pussy and The Other Side of the Underneath on Blu-ray disc. So The Other Side of the Underneath was shot in Wales, which, makes sense because Jane Arden was Welsh. I'm bringing it back, guys.
That's true.
Yeah, that's good.
Bringing it back. And
proud of you.
Thank you. She brought her experimental feminist theater company, which was called The Holocaust, or Holocaust.
Yeah, I think it was just Holocaust.
Just Holocaust. I don't want to...
A Holocaust, not the Holocaust.
Thank you.
Not specifically any Holocaust.
An unspecific Holocaust. To Wales, she brought her theater company to film this motion picture.
To Wales, she brought a Holocaust.
To Wales comes Holocaust.
Hawa. Here comes a Holocaust.
Which I'm sure, being the theater troupe that I assume was in the the show that this is based off of.
Well, I think it's the original cast members from the show.
The show was comprised of all women as well.
Yeah.
Not a ton of dudes in this.
No, there are, but the theater troupe consisted of all female.
All female.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
And the title of this comes from, I found it, Vagina Rex and the Gas Oven, 1969. That's where The Other Side of the Underneath comes from. It was in her play. The actual title.
Words
the title
came from the play called what?
Vagina Rex and the Gas Oven.
Mm-hmm.
Why am I not surprised that that's what that's called? Why not?
1969.
That's right. This film, seeing that it's comprised mostly of actors, all of actors who were in this theater company, right, for the most part, makes this film very much like something you would see on the stage.
Oh, yeah. This is
and
very
there's
theatrical.
Very much, there's parts of it that are on a stage. So...
there are moments where you see the boom operator. And it's not, I don't think it's poor filmmaking. I think it was intentional.
Yeah.
It was during that crazy sequence with that, psychedelic jazz quintet
Oh
or whatever
God.
the fuck it was.
The noise band.
I gotta tell you, I started screaming. I actually started screaming when that part came on because there was so much noise and I thought my brain was going to explode.
Yeah, it's like an assault on the senses.
That's exactly what I said.
I'm like,
I'm being assaulted.
I'm literally being assaulted. But maybe that it is the point because
Yes.
it's just like you're not in control of your surroundings or anything that's happening around you, and it's all the overstimulation and everything's happening all at once.
It was almost like stunt rock, but not as cool.
Bringing it back to stunt rock.
Yeah. I wish Stunt Rock wasn't PG and it had a wiener in it. Talk about it.
Whenever I got here, Laura was like, "Have you seen Stunt Rock?" I've been watching Stunt Rock.
I'm really gonna plant my flag in the world of Stunt Rock this year.
Yeah. Ryan, have you seen Stunt Rock? Do you want to watch Stunt Rock?
Can we watch
Ryan,
Stunt Rock?
I might just get a copy of Stunt Rock. Do you want to watch Stunt Rock? I've been hearing that every
I
single day.
don't have the copy of
list.
Stunt Rock yet. It's in the mail. I really want to watch.
It's in the mail?
Yeah.
I thought, all right, okay, that's fine. What, from Umbrella? Is that that
No.
one? That's
That's a
another
Kino
one.
movie.
It's both.
Oh, okay.
Oh, really?
Umbrella has one, but it was more expensive, obviously, and then I'd have to spend $150 for free shipping,
Yeah.
which I'd be happy to
I
do.
feel like if I spend more than $15 on Stunt Rock, I probably wouldn't have liked it as much.
Well, I watched it on Tubi.
Nah, I would have liked it twice as much then if I watched it for free.
Yeah. I watched it
Yeah.
on Tubi, and I was like, this is the greatest experience.
I think watching anything on Tubi, though, is like it's a good 1.75% or times increase of enjoyment because you still have to deal with the multitude of ads
that's a
that
small
are there.
amount.
And the ads are always so much louder than
Yeah.
everything else.
Yes.
Stunt Rock is very loud.
Which is why it can't be 2 times as much. It's like 1.75 times as much enjoyment from watching something that's free, but then also is like bombarding you with commercials.
I just like the Tubi's so fucking crazy with their content.
They have
If
so
I
much
wanna-
shit on there, like it's
The Wild
really
West,
hard.
man.
Yeah, it's
Wild
really
West of
hard.
streaming.
The other side of the underneath is on Tubi.
Yeah.
You could
If I-
survive in this streaming world just with Tubi, like without
I-
any issues whatsoever.
I'm going to get a Tubi tattoo. Like, I 100% agree with you. If we didn't have any other streaming service, I wouldn't be mad. Tubi is free,
Yeah,
and it's incredible.
it is.
Anytime I want to watch something, I go on my Letterboxd watch list, and there's hundreds and hundreds of things I want to watch. And guess what? Most of them are on Tubi.
I've been adding to my watch list for years now. You know how many times I've actually opened it? 0 times.
Well-
0 times.
I don't add anything
I
to
don't-
my watch list.
It's been, yeah, there's
I
probably,
don't look at it. I don't.
yeah, I
I
add
use
to it.
it.
I add to it, but I never,
Almost daily.
and now I look at it and be like, I don't know what the fuck that is.
They're
Because you can go, okay, this is an ad for Letterboxd. They need to start paying us. But like, you can go into your Letterboxd watch list and you can sort it by different streaming services. And then you're like, oh, what streaming services do I have? Oh, I want to watch something on freaking Tubi or whatever. And it shows you what's on there.
yeah.
You can sort it like that.
I never
You
like
can go to your friend's watch
actively
list.
plan.
I could go to Josh's watch list and like, me and Josh are going to watch a movie tonight, okay? What do we both want to watch? I can go to his watch list and I can sort it by what's in our mutual watch list.
Yeah, but we don't add to our watch list, so
So
you're
you
never.
did.
I do.
Oh, you do.
And I
but
can,
you never
Ryan
watch.
does as well. So
Yeah.
I've done that where I go, we
I
don't know what
don't.
to watch, right? Because that's the struggle. It's like,
Yeah.
what are we going to eat for dinner? Jesus Christ. I don't know.
I add on minimum per year about 200 plus
At
movies.
least.
Yeah. That I add to my watch list, but I don't necessarily watch.
It's
a
the
lot of them are
struggle.
unavailable. Like I don't know where to find them. Basically,
That's what Letterboxd watch list is for. You can go in there. What's for dinner? I don't know. We figure it out. What are we going to watch tonight? We can do this. It's easy. We go to the watch list, sort it out.
I don't know though. A lot of it too is that I just don't. I don't watch streaming stuff very often anymore.
Right,
I
you
never
have-
sit down
yeah.
and like because I'm so far behind on physical media. It is ridiculous. I would feel real guilty if I was putting on a random title from Tubi.
Well, and I have like 6 or 7 movies that I've borrowed from you that I still haven't watched yet.
Oh, really?
I need to actually do that, but I'm just so distracted, so I'm only like half watching most things.
you know what's so good about Tubi? You can watch the other side of the underneath on that streaming platform.
You absolutely can.
Yeah.
So when you're watching the other side of the underneath on Tubi, or if you watched it at Uncomfortable Brunch,
Yeah, which you should have.
you should have been there, you will understand that most of the company that worked on this film parted ways after the film wrapped because it was so intense.
There was a lot of drug use on that set.
Yeah, it was most like LSD, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Natasha Morgan, who was in the film, said in an interview that everyone, at least in like the therapy session scene, were on LSD, and the director was steadily drinking her way through the entire production. Yeah. But it has also been said that the company was on LSD for most of the film, regardless of what scene it was.
Yeah.
So
I mean, that's like well, with Jane Arden them saying about her that she was drinking through, it's like there's a lot of directors that were probably drunk a lot. Like Todd Browning notoriously was always drinking when he was directing stuff. I think he killed a person, like drunk driving.
Oh, God.
And then came back to set the next day.
Did Matthew Broderick kill a guy?
I don't know.
Yes. No, it was 2 women in Ireland, and he just paid a fine, $125.
Matthew Broderick killed 2 women in his car?
Matthew Broderick killed someone?
Yeah, I think he did.
$125 a piece or for both?
No, for both.
Oh, wow.
Fucking...
Yeah.
Looking it up. I'm pretty sure he
Jennifer
did.
Grey was with him in the car. It was in the 1980s.
Because, I mean, I was going to say Sam Peckinpah was a pretty crazy alcoholic, but now that we're on Matthew Broderick, I'm all over this shit.
I don't think that it, there's details about if he was drunk or not, but he did hit 2 Irish women, and they died.
I mean, cocaine fueled many a motion picture, you know?
Yeah, certainly during the 70s at least, yes. Yeah. But, well, I remember at least one of my favorite Sam Peckinpah stories, although he is a fucking asshole, was that he was watching Rushes in the cinema one time, and he hated them so much, he went down and he pissed on the screen.
Excellent.
Nice. Things that people can do with their dicks.
And Friedkin used to bring a gun to set as well. And just like fire it off or just like have it on his lap and stuff.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, he told that like it was a funny story in that documentary about The Exorcist.
I mean, it is kind of a funny story.
Yeah. Well, I mean, he got a genuine reaction out of her because he had the gun. Because it wouldn't have worked in any other way.
It's like when my mom tells a story and she's just like, this funny thing happened when you were growing up. I'm like, that's really like a traumatic thing that happened to me. Thank you for reminding me that you did that.
So, talking about Matthew Broderick, in 1987, he had a car crash while in a rented car outside Tempo, Northern Ireland. He crossed into the wrong lane, collided head-on with another car. The driver and their passenger, they were killed instantly. He was vacationing with Jennifer Grey, who they were just began dating during the filming of Ferris Bueller's Day Off. He suffered a fractured leg and ribs, concussion, collapsed lung. Broderick told police he had no recollection of the crash and did not know why he had been in the wrong lane. What I first remember is waking up in the hospital with a very strange feeling going on in my leg. He was charged with causing death by dangerous driving. He was only fined £100 or $175.
He was dating the person who played his sister in the film.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was wrong on the amount of the fine, but I was pretty close in the details.
Pretty close.
I mean,
I'm proud of myself.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't like we'd made a mistake in that it was thousands. It was still relatively in the absolutely pathetic amount of money that he had to pay.
£100 or $175 US.
He went into the wrong lane, drove headfirst into a couple people, murdered them accidentally.
Yeah, and broke his leg.
And doesn't remember.
Yeah.
And doesn't know if he was drunk or not. Like, there's no details on if he was under the influence. Like, the internet doesn't know.
Right.
Did anyone remember that story about that kid who was driving a car and he was so rich and he crashed into like a group of people and he got off in court for what they deemed as affluenza, is that he was too rich to know what he was doing.
Yeah, that was like 2011 or something.
Yeah.
I remember I was working as an unpaid intern at a news station when that happened.
The other side of the underneath, guys. What are we talking about here?
Well, it all relates to everything and nothing because
trauma.
This watching this film is kind of a traumatic experience because you're going through what the inside of a woman's mind is when she's losing it.
Right.
And everyone was on drugs while filming it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I just wonder if it would have helped me if I was also on drugs.
I would have said yes.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I really could have gotten into it harder, you know?
I mean, I don't think you got into it at all. I mean, for large swathes of the film, I'm watching your face while things are happening on the screen. And then you started kind of seeing things that were quite disparaging.
Like what?
I think, well, no, here's the thing. We sandwiched the other side of the underneath between two of the Father of the Bride movies.
I was wondering about that.
Yeah.
Oh, weird.
So
That's an interesting choice.
Well, no. Well, no, it wasn't like we weren't like, let's put on Father of the Bride. It's just
it was just on. It was on the Romance Hub, the channel they have on our TV.
Has like
yeah,
some free channels. I don't know what it is, but
'Cause
one of them's called a Romance
we watched
Hub.
at least 30 minutes of Father of the Bride.
Father of the Bride's awesome,
which is pretty good. And then Father of the Bride 2, where you're just kind of like, wow,
Disgusting.
like they're really leaning into the fact that Steve Martin's character kind of wants to fall in love with his daughter in a not okay
the
way.
whole of the Father of the Bride series is shot as if it's a romantic comedy between Steve Martin and his daughter.
Because it's like the daughter has no warmth for Diane Keaton, like whatsoever.
She doesn't even have to be in it.
Yeah, and they completely ignore little Culkin. He's like a nothing element in this family, like whatsoever.
Yeah, so anyway, we couldn't watch The Other Side of the Underneath and like eat dinner, right? And so we had to put something on.
Why not?
I wanted to focus. I felt like I needed to focus. So
She wanted full attention. She didn't want it in between bites.
we had hot dogs for dinner, as you do as an adult.
Man, I want hot
People.
dogs.
Yeah, so I had some hot dogs, and I just couldn't focus if I was eating a hot dog and watching the other side of the underneath. So yeah, we Romance Hub, Father of the Bride, and then when we finished it, the end of Father of the Bride Part 2 was on.
Yeah.
So it was like kind of weird.
Yeah, where Steve Martin ends up being a father once again. He has another
That's
child.
disgusting.
Yeah, he has another
Oh,
child.
that's
at
right.
Like
I haven't seen that
50.
movie
He
since
like
theaters.
is holding his
That's funny.
grandson and his new
Yeah.
daughter at the same time, and I almost vomited. I think
Yeah.
I went, ew.
There's a shot where he holds up the mollusk of like that little baby boy, and he's like smiling, and the child's face looks like a wrung up dry sponge, and it's just this horrible
Fresh
fucking
baby.
thing. Yeah. And you're just saying, well, he says something, he has it in his hands, and he goes, holding my grandson and my daughter. I mean, I couldn't be any happier than I am right now. And then I hear you in the other room just basically go, gross.
Yes. They had those kids like way too far apart, and they're like quite a bit older. They're in their mid 40s, and they just had a baby. Like I can't imagine like chasing
it's
around
not
a
like
baby.
the daughter's left the home and she's never going to see her again.
Okay.
And then obviously like that says he's got this other child anyway.
Okay, so what was your reaction to?
To the other side of the underneath, or to
as
the
you
Father of the
were-
Bride Part
as
1.
no, not the father. Oh my god. Focus.
Okay.
To the other side of the underneath. Like what were your thoughts as you were watching it? Because like I haven't watched it in a few months. And so it's really hard to recollect certain aspects of it because like there's some striking imagery that sticks in
Yes.
my mind. Like the crucifixion part is like
Love it.
interesting. Like that sticks in my mind. And then like the like sex part, which is towards the end,
Yes.
male, female.
The traveler scene is interesting. Like that is quite memorable. Like the traveler's wedding, you know, kind of that's right before that sex scene. But there are so many incredible shots throughout the film that are, like you said, very striking, very visually rich, and the film itself is so difficult. This is a film. I think I yelled after it was over, and I was like, this is cinema. Like, this is a film. I like movies. This isn't for me, okay?
It's too academic.
Because, and Ryan, you said something that I loved. You go, I thought I was losing my edge because he hangs out with me too much, right?
Yeah, a little
Where
bit.
I like movies too much.
Where it's
And he
like,
goes-
let's go watch Plane.
Because he,
you know.
Yes.
Yeah, and I'm like, well, no, this is actually quite enjoyable. But then when we put this on, this was kind of like a breath of fresh air, where it's just kind of like,
yeah,
no, I can.
He had
enjoy
rated
that.
it like right off the bat. I like opened Letterboxd and he had already rated it at 5, and I was like, "Are you fucking kidding me right now?"
It reminded me a lot of my time at like university when I was a big pretentious wank, and I used to hang out. I used to hang out with people who did this sort of thing. And they were contemporary theater performance students, and I filmed stuff that they did, and some of the things they did were fucking wild, absolutely crazy. I remember filming someone. I still have that footage somewhere, or at least I think maybe those tapes have been destroyed. But I filmed someone in a basement.
Find them one day.
She was doing a performance, and she was asphyxiating herself with a plastic bag. And I didn't stop filming.
Were you meant to?
And we did it from several different angles. Yeah, no, I mean, I used to film a lot of their stuff. I filmed, like, folks' performances and things like that, to the layman would be like, what is this horse shit? But to me, I found it fascinating. Used to go to like art openings and stuff like that, and you saw some really I don't know, I have a great appreciation for things like this, so I was a lot more forgiving of the film's content style, like its musings, more than say maybe yourself. So
does it warm you to know that you're still a pretentious film wank, like that hasn't left you?
So I don't think I ever forgot that.
You never lost it.
No, I don't think I ever lost it. But it's like, I used to hang out with folk who wouldn't see any of this. And I remember my friend at university, he said he likened CTP, which is what the course was called, to folk covering themselves in like petroleum jelly and dancing with cucumbers. That's basically what he kind of likened it to.
Yeah.
And kind of like, funnily enough, I saw some of that. So I mean, that's kind of just the way it was. But the thing is that these people grew up. The people that I was with, they grew up to be, patrons of that particular art scene. And they're like, oh my God, this is some of the most radical work we've ever seen. And I kind of strayed away from it. So this was a breath of fresh air.
It brought you back home.
Yeah, kind of. I mean, I like this sort of thing, because really we have spent a lot of our time watching movies, and certainly in mainstream cinema, you don't really get stuff like this, It's kind of there's very much things that are within their lane, and this was just a breath of fresh air to me, honestly.
Yeah, it's like films like this that are more avant-garde get kind of siloed in a certain to a certain demographic, and so like it's challenging to reach out to this type of art.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts, Josh? You've been quiet for a bit.
What are my thoughts on what?
Father of the Bride 2.
I haven't seen it since 1994. Did that come out in 94? I feel like that was a 94. 93. That was a 93 movie. In any case.
Ryan will fact check that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure it was 93.
If I could better be 93 now.
Yeah, I know, right?
Part 2?
Yeah. I think part 1 was 90 or 91.
Nah, you're wrong.
What was it?
It was 95.
Fuck! First one was 91, right?
Well, no, we're gonna find that out. We need to know what your thoughts are on that. Like, 91. Yeah, you're right for 91 for that first one.
Oh God, thank Christ.
Yeah.
Wasn't able to sleep tonight.
Our fucking credibility was falling, flushing down a toilet.
Listen, I'm not good at anything in this world except for that bullshit. So
yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Same.
No.
But any case, no,
Well, no, I mean, I agree, because that's literally all I'm very good at. It's like, I miss films years by, like, one. Almost 90% of the time.
Yeah, I can't remember my own. I actually have to reference what movies I saw to figure out what happened in my own life sometimes, because my timeline doesn't make sense anymore. Any case, no, I think that that this, I'm really excited to be able to show this kind of work. We don't do it very often because it's not exactly the most commercial in the world, even with some of the more, the stuff we show is obviously pretty niche to begin with, but even for us, this is kind of on the fringes, but I don't know. I feel like that's part of the reason that we work towards what we work towards is to be able to have these one-offs where we're, ask an audience to just trust us, and we're not even claiming that they're going to like it. I honestly didn't think that you were going to like it all that much. The responses are actually pretty on point from what I assumed would happen.
Really?
Oh yeah, for sure.
Because that doesn't happen
with you and Ryan. Yeah, because
I usually like everything.
Oh no, we keep track of your letterbox ratings. I'm like, oh, Ryan really loved this, and Laura didn't, and then I just like kind of track like what you guys rate. I'm like, oh, that's interesting.
It's rare that I end up loving something and Laura's just kind of on the opposite side of that. Because I won't say that she hates it, because Laura loves moving pictures.
I do.
Yeah.
Moving pictures are everything.
The science of
as long
cinema.
As it doesn't cross 120 minutes, right?
Exactly.
Like a Mission Impossible movie.
Perfect movies, perfect summer movies.
I want to like those so
any
much.
case, yeah, so I don't know, I can't really expound more on kind of what Ryan was talking about outside of... It's a really, really unique film in its own way, and even if audience members don't particularly love it, I like the idea of seeing something in a cinema that you really haven't seen before.
Right.
And, we've seen movies like this, experimental films like this before, certainly, but especially because of a lot of the work with what was popular at the time that Jodorowsky was doing, these other sort of chauvinist male forces were the driving force of these kind of pieces of work. Even in a pop culture sense, we had Andy Warhol is kind of a piece of shit. He wasn't really a nice person, not really. And I have no idea if Jane Arden was a nice person. She probably wasn't. But that said, it was it's nice to see these kind of avant-garde methods of artistic expression told through a different lens than we're used to.
I think that's what kind of keeps me into this motion picture is the fact that it is incredibly unique and it is telling a story from such a different and wildly fascinating perspective. It's hard to kind of keep track of it, but I don't assume that you're meant to.
I think another thing I like with a film like this is their point that they're trying to make is super ham-fisted. It's clear. They just fucking hate psychiatry.
Right.
And that's kind of cool because I'm not to say that I agree or disagree with that point one way or the other. It just makes all of the insanity a little bit easier to sift through because at the end of the day, okay, this is what they're ultimately getting at. So, the movie's over 50 years old and there's, it's from a different continent. It's, there's going to be nuances and intricacies to it that maybe I don't pick up on, that we don't pick up on. But because the ultimate point of the film is pretty ham-fisted. I kind of appreciate that, which is not always the case. Very rarely the case do I want something to have no nuance, but I think in this situation it helped.
Yeah, because the psychiatrist character, does Jane Arden play the psychiatrist in the film, or is that...
Yes.
Yes,
she's meant to be like the therapist.
She's meant to be, I think, an unsympathetic force, because she's a source of negativity.
Well, I guess like most people who work in psychiatry, they tend to be impartial, so they have to kind of be emotionless. If anyone's ever dealt with anyone who works in the psychiatry field.
Only therapy.
Yeah.
I've been to a psychiatrist. I'm on drugs.
Nice.
My last therapist was super cool. I missed her.
I'm not on fun ones, though. They just regulate.
Not like the cast of The Other Side of the Underneath?
No LSD, microdosing for me.
Well, the difference is like a therapist can't prescribe medication, but a psychiatrist can, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. That makes sense.
And a psychologist can't?
Cannot. Yeah,
no.
that's a therapist. Psychologist.
A psychologist basically, or a psychiatrist, a psychologist with an MD, more or less.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay. Fun. Yeah, no, I've only had a therapist, but she had good advice. So, why don't we jump towards the end of this film, about an hour, 36 minutes, and 35 seconds, and talk about that one
glimpse
man on woman, the man-woman scene with a woman in the back.
The sex by the water.
Balls hanging.
Hanging.
A lot of
balls hanging. A lot of finger blasting.
There was a lot of fingering. I'm a big fan of that.
Yeah, like
there was.
I think it was real. Like
that looked very real.
They were just doing it, I think, and they're like, okay, we're gonna do it, and you guys are filming.
Did anyone find it odd? Like, did they feel a little bit disconcerted because he had these massive rings on, and he's just like going to town?
No, I mean, I was hoping he'd lose one.
It is like a vacuum in there.
No, I was hoping he was going to lose it on the other end.
On the other side of the underneath?
The other side of the underneath.
Right, right.
Turns into a Jackass sketch.
We've got to get her to a hospital. I need that ring back.
It was my grandmother's.
That ring has value.
When you first see these two people, they're kind of embracing each other, and he's just rubbing her spine in a downward motion.
It's like petting a cat backwards.
Just hard petting her spine. And I thought, my God, if anything's going to get me in the mood, it's a hard rubbing of my spine.
Hard spine rubbing.
Yeah. That's how you get a lady going, if you guys don't know that. But like extra hard.
I'm well aware.
What?
Through utter confusion.
It reminds me of like when, I don't remember what Simpsons episode, but like someone pets a cat so hard that like the cat's like eyeballs come out of its head. Like that's how it felt watching this guy pet this woman's spine. But they're by this stream, and it just looks so uncomfortable because they're also very thin.
Yeah.
These people don't have any like flesh cushion, so it's just very thin people on rocks by a stream, hard rubbing spines,
emaciation,
and hard fingering.
Yeah.
Oh, with that also is like your pelvic bone is gonna rub. Like I'm sure they got like really bad bruises from their bones hitting each other.
Because she.
I mean, they
I don't think
they
she
were
was
fucking
ever
on a rock
She
as
was
well.
never face down on the rocks, though, because that would have sucked for her. She was on her back, which still would hurt. And then she was on top because of the fingering.
Yeah, there was.
Yeah.
And then he does like a push-up. And then he comes back down. We see the dangle.
That's when we see the dangle.
Yeah.
And it's not a particularly long scene, but by God, it feels long because it's just like these solid shots of just hands and pushing and not sexy. If you felt, I mean, I don't know, on Josh's like arousal meter, like what do you rate?
You have an arousal meter?
I feel like
not an official one, but we should.
Oh, it's official.
I feel like we're missing a trick with Laura being the audio descriptor voice for the other side of the underneath.
Oh, really?
Describing everything that's happening. For say like the hard of sight, just.
She can't like when she couldn't quite get the mirror placement right in that one scene with all of the mirrors. And then she kept trying to put it on her knees so she could see her face. I loved that scene, by the way.
I do remember.
Like, she can't quite get it. She's not quite getting the mirror right.
I do remember that when she starts knocking on the door that says, knock, then wait. She kept on knocking, and I'm like, she just has to wait. She needs to just read the sign, and everything will make sense. Yeah, I don't know. I don't want to talk any more about it because
Well, we need to see Josh's arousal meter, the official arousal meter.
What's that? Is this a new addition to the podcast? We
every
have an
time
arousal
Josh is
meter?
here now, from now on, I'm going to add it to the list.
Fuck.
Things to ask about.
Yeah.
So what were you most aroused by in this film, Josh?
What were your boner-inducing moments?
On a scale of Boys Don't Cry to Gadget from Chippendale's Rescue Rangers.
Which are both 10, right?
Those are both 10s.
Gadget?
Happy Pride.
Really, like if we can't explain like exactly what's going on in the movie, so we're going from Father of the Bride to Chippendale Rescue Rangers, fucking Mission Impossible.
You know, it all relates.
Which one's Chip is
He's the one with the hat, I think.
he's Indiana Jones.
Yeah, he's the one with the black nose.
No, he's
and
the
then
hot one.
Dale's the one with the buck teeth.
He's
the goofy
Magnum
one.
PI.
Yeah, he's Magnum PI. Yeah,
Okay.
he's Magnum
Yeah.
PI.
Not as hot
Not as hot.
as
No.
Tom Selleck.
Neither of them are as hot as Gadget.
Yeah.
Gadget is super hot. But and you know what? We didn't talk about that the pilot.
The pilot?
Isn't there the pilot in the show? He's like like the
Yeah.
really big guy.
It's a big
Oh,
fan.
yeah. What's
That dude's pretty
Monterey
hot.
Jack?
Monterey Jack. Oh, that's awesome.
Right.
I haven't seen
okay.
that in forever. That dude's hot.
It's been
Yeah.
a real long time. But I think.
Oh,
I think
but you
all
don't
that
want to stay with
stuff's
people who
on,
want
yeah.
to fuck Zipper. That's bad news bears.
That is bad news.
He's more into
by the way.
DuckTales than Chippendale Rescue Rangers, but I did watch both. Yeah.
Oh yeah. I don't want to fuck
Yeah.
any of those ducks. In DuckTales.
No,
I mean, I'd fuck Scrooge McDuck.
I don't give a fuck
Yeah?
about these.
Fuck yeah.
And
all
a
that
pile
money?
of coins. That would be
Yeah.
harder than that rock stream
That's
in
fine.
this film.
I've done far dumber things with my dick for way less money.
If there's
Definitely leave with
yeah.
some coins up your butt.
Well, if there's a segue that I enjoy in internet content is people explaining the fact that you can't dive into a pool full of coins.
Oh, it would just obliterate you.
Yeah, and the
Your
fact that
fingers
like,
would be broken.
and the fact is
At
that the
least.
video itself is 10 minutes long of them showing over and over the same animation of someone just smashing into just a pool full of coins and how you wouldn't be able to swim in them.
Did they like generate an AI thing like this is what would happen if you
So it's like
those truck
it's
crash?
like those safety videos. So they show you how it is in the show, and then they show you what it would be like in real life. And then obviously it's this 3D modeled man who's just like hitting the surface over and over again, doubling over, bent round and bleeding and bloody and broken. And it's like, okay, I get the point. Like, I understand that this obviously could not work in real life, but I'm fascinated all the same for fucking 10 to 15 minutes.
I don't know
So
if you
arousal meter, what is it for this?
Yeah, we can't. We need to figure
Oh,
it
is
out.
our yeah.
1 to 10.
1 to 10. It's a 6.5. I don't want
Wow.
to, but I could if I had to.
Yay.
Because what was the last one we did with Josh? Like, what's the last movie we did with Josh?
Sallow.
Was it Sallow?
Oh, I still haven't listened to that.
I mean,
I know you bleeped it out, but I never heard it.
you put it out.
Literally,
You
we
put it
got-
on social media too.
We got a comment on our YouTube page about the Sallow, and someone said like something like, "What is the point of this?"
Excellent.
And I was like, "Dude, I can't tell you. I honestly couldn't tell you. I don't know anymore." Great comment, bro.
What is the point? They listen to it the whole
Yeah.
thing,
Like,
and
what
then they're
is
like,
this?
what was this for?
It's either like the comments are either like, "I love this, thanks," or "What is this?" or "I thought this was the movie." I get mad.
Yeah, they do get mad. It's pretty hilarious.
I'm like, okay, never.
Yeah.
Oh well.
Listen
Sorry.
to the whole thing and be like, I thought this was the movie.
I listened to an hour of this podcast on the podcast page, and yeah. Whoops.
Yeah. Well, that's like
Sorry.
our YouTube is a little bit of a Wild West because Strangers by the Lake is not only our most listened to episode on YouTube,
Really?
it is also our most hated.
Huh.
Is it like just
funny.
90% dislikes?
It has almost 14,000 views and listens, But yes, it has like a downgrade rate that is astonishing.
I bet it is because people want to watch.
It's
Stranger
like
by the
minus.
Lake and
I
they
mean,
get
it's something
mad.
crazy. It's like minus 350% or something.
Is it not easy to obtain these days?
I don't know. I got it. I bought it.
I think people.
I watched it on Netflix.
I think
10 years
people
ago or
don't
whatever.
like.
Yeah, but Netflix
the gay
takes
stuff.
stuff
I think that's the problem. Is that I
God,
think
that movie. That's a 10 out of 10.
I think
bonus.
it's
Stranger by
a
the
little
Lake.
bit a little bit of bigotry is being.
Oh,
fed
you think
into
that's what's
our,
going on?
I think it's 100% what's going on.
Everyone should watch that movie. It's
Yeah, that movie's definitely a
awesome.
9 on the arousal meter for
least.
sure.
Yeah, it's
I would
pretty
I would
amazing.
enjoy making that work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's wrap this up now. I'm done.
I'm done.
We're done. This film is a whole different thing. It's a whole different thing. So I think, gosh, we gotta go into ratings. I'll go ahead and start. So in terms of like visibility and context for the dick scene, the penis scene, like it's probably a 2. Context, I genuinely couldn't tell you because I don't know about much that's going on because it's all just happening, right? So the
No,
it's not your
It's
turn
not.
yet.
Yeah.
Not your turn yet.
Hold on, Josh. It's gonna happen. Just let her talk.
And
Let's see what happes. Let's see what she says.
oh no, I don't have anything to say. It's a 2 because you can't really see it very well, and it is interesting that it's in there because considering that the whole original troupe were females and there's not a whole lot of men in here, there's a lot of female nudity in this film, so I don't know. 2. And in terms of the film, I didn't rate it on Letterboxd, and I don't know if I'm going to get away with not rating it now, but it's not fair. I'm going to give it a 3 because I think it's important and it's interesting and the way that it was made is fascinating and why it was made is fascinating, and there's so much visual delights in this motion picture that you really won't forget. There's shots that are just unforgettable and there's scenes that are incredibly fascinating that are going to stick with me for a very long time. So it's just something that it's like, how many times do you watch this movie? Maybe you guys will tell me. Okay, I'm gonna shoot it to Ryan now.
So for the scene, I kind of agree with you. Like contextually, I'm a little bit kind of up in the air with that because I think probably. I mean, I'm going to go straight down the middle with it all and say 3, because to me, like I can look at it contextually as in as the whole piece, because I do feel like the minute we get to the traveler stuff, the film kind of dips down a little bit because I liked all the madcap craziness that happened before, and then when you start to ground it a little bit more in reality, I lost a little bit more interest. But I'm not about to try and ascertain exactly what Jane's trying to say with every single little thing, so I'm certainly not going to ascertain exactly what I think that she's doing with this scene. But I'll go down the middle and just give it a 3. And for the film, I mean, I already gave it a 5 because it's just my bag. But no, like if I look at it from face value, because I don't know how many times I'm gonna watch this film. Certainly, I think if we're gonna watch it again, I don't know how I would take it the second time round, but certainly from the first time, from like the disorientation, the music, the landscape, the changes, the obscurity, the choices, that everything kind of contribute to like this hellish nature that being depicted. I think that's kind of where a lot of my interest in it stems from. So yeah, I give it a 5 because I also don't feel the need to try and even explain it. I like it just as a piece, from start to finish. So there.
You know what? I'm thinking about this last scene, like, if I think about it more, because this film has a lot to do about, like, sexual guilt, right? So maybe it's something about her looking down upon two people being quite free in their sexuality, right?
Yeah, she is. She is a watcher in this scene.
So maybe that's the reason. I don't know.
Potentially.
So maybe it is more important. It's much more important than I'm giving it credit
It's been
for.
very interesting watching you try to rationalize certain things about this film when I feel like it doesn't.
I don't need to.
Not so much that you don't need to, but it's like you can tell that like you are fighting with your mind, and your mind it's not jigging with what you're seeing, and you're just kind of like, why don't I understand this when other people seemingly can understand this? Like it was very fascinating to kind of just watch your mind kind of melt down, because you're just like, I wish I could understand this. And I think like personally, I don't think it depends on who you are, but I think you don't need to, you know.
Okay, let's throw it. Let's throw it and we'll go in a circle and throw it to Josh.
All right. Context and visibility. Visibility is like whatever, a 3. You barely see it.
Mm-hmm.
Context though, I think that I would place it a little bit higher, probably a 4. Mostly because it did feel very naturalistic.
Mm-hmm.
Like it almost feels like it might have as easily not been there as it was there. The nudity that is.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I would say that that's where I would place that. And then the film itself, yeah, I mean, I give it a 5. I have watched it 3 times now, and I would say that I don't, to echo what Ryan just said, I don't feel the need to put a concrete, this is why I like this.
Mm-hmm.
These are the things that I like about this movie. I look at it more as how I would describe liking a piece of fine art at a gallery, where I don't have the academic or emotional language to explain exactly why I like everything that I do in it. And like is probably not even the right word. Find it rewarding, or I'm affected by all of that.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, but any case, that's yeah, I mean, I really love the film.
Okay.
So visibility, as discussed, it's pretty low. So also a 3 there. As far as context, I would give it a 4 as well. Because I think it's playing into the sexual guilt. And as someone who was raised with a Catholic mother, I understand like seeing other people engaging in what seems to be pleasure on their end, even though it seems like really like, oh, this looks like uncomfortable. It's like when people talk about having sex on the beach. It's just like, there's a lot of sand that would happen, but like more bugs. Power to you, man. Like you're gonna get like sand fleas or whatever they're.
Yeah.
Anyways, so yeah, 4. And then as far as like the overall movie, I would give it a 4. I struggle with the avant-garde films, but there are feelings that come across, and those are really strong when like watching just like certain segments of this film. And I think that being able to connect with it at certain moments, it's just like, it's this strong feeling. But I can't really put into words like why I like those certain parts, but that's it. Yeah.
Well, excellent.
There you go.
We did it.
We did do it. We got it done.
Well, kind of.
Got it done.
Oh, yeah, in a roundabout way.
A lot of tangents that happened. We learned about Matthew Broderick and Josh's attraction to Gadget. And
Don't say that like it's weird.
I
That's a normal thing.
and
Zipper, not. It would not be.
yeah, I looked up a picture of Zipper. If you're sexually attracted to Zipper, you should get checked out by a psychiatrist.
Specifically a psychiatrist.
Because you should probably be on some meds. Like anti-pedo ones.
Oh, that Zipper. He's a fly.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Yeah, that's a child.
Yeah. I mean...
You know what Gadget looks like, though.
Not off the top of my head.
I agree
Oh,
with-
really? So my joke didn't even land
it's
with
been
a quarter
around-
of the audience.
I
No, but
looked her up and I was like,
I
oh,
know.
Oh,
Oh.
right. Yeah.
she's cute.
Because her like jumpsuit's
You
like
know-
partially unbuttoned as well.
Yeah, you
And
know
it's got,
there's
like, a little belt.
you know there's
Where?
there's a cosplayer out
You're
there
aware.
that's done this in the way that you yeah, I mean look at that one there with the
Yeah.
there you go.
She's got like a crop top on.
Yep, and little pink shorts.
What was the pilot's name in that?
Yeah. Well, the thing
Montgomery
is like
Jack.
she's
Montgomery Jack.
she's
That's-
a mouse or she's
Is it
a
Monterey
rat.
Jack or
Oh, I think it's Montgomery, actually. I thought
Oh,
Monterey
whoops.
at first.
I'm
I
sure
like
she's
Monterey
a-
Jack.
Maybe it's...
Yeah.
I can't remember. It's
The
one or
the
other.
deeper I get into this, the more I'm gonna regret it.
He's got a
What is
huge
it?
red
It's
mustache.
like-
Monterey Jack.
It's Monterey, okay.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Well, I'm falling into like AI generated images where they're like, there's like cups going on here.
Oh, stop. Oh,
No,
yeah, so
don't
I'm
do that.
Go
getting
further.
into, it's
You're
now
gonna
it's what's
get-
gonna happen.
I've looked at
Fuck.
far worse.
Me too. I look up like crime scene photos. So
Oh, shit.
yeah.
I still have to come back to. I did go into incognito mode to find out what were the legal ramifications of exhibiting unsimulated bestiality if penetration was not shown.
In
on screen.
fucking what? In
For
what?
why? What?
Because
for what reason?
Because we had that bestiality triple feature for Valentine's Day back in
They
like
were all documentaries,
was that 2017, 2018?
something like that. Yeah.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. No,
Okay.
I wasn't worried about Zoo. It was Donkey Love because they actually do show people fucking donkeys in it.
Yeah, you just
don't see the penetration.
You don't
but-
see the dick going into the
but you
donkey's
see them
hole,
put a
but you
condom on.
You do see them put a condom on and them thrusting.
Yeah.
Oh.
And by the way, it's not illegal to show it if it doesn't show penetration. If it does, it's a misdemeanor, but so is doing it.
That's
So, in
really
Florida.
strange that it's
So,
the same thing.
I feel like if you're going to show it, you might as well just do it at that point because you're going to get in trouble the same way.
It was about to go, oh, hey, guys, make sure to follow us on Instagram.
Yeah. Don't
and
bother. It's
the-
a complete waste of your
I'm
fucking
sure
time.
Uncomfortable Brunch they also have a social media.
Yep.
You have a website?
A
You got your
website.
website?
No, we got a website.
You got a mailing list?
Yeah, all that stuff.
Great.
Yeah,
that.
we're gonna stay on social media because you can't escape it. It's just a hellscape. It's just
You can follow us all on Letterboxd as well if you want to see what kind of stuff Josh is watching.
Yeah.
And
Yeah. It's usually good.
and me. I'm on there too.
yeah, you're watching, well,
I'm not watching nun porn. Like
I haven't watched any nun porn in ages.
this is
I don't think.
Thursday.
Yeah,
I
no,
don't
we need
think-
we need Josh to come back because we need to continue the saga of the arousal meter.
Yeah.
Like we really do.
Oh, that's kind of funny.
It's a fantastic addition.
What weirdo shit does Josh find interesting sexually? Cool.
Great.
Make me more of a novelty than I already am.
You've done it to yourself.
Oh, I'm aware. Fucking aware.
Thanks, guys. Can't wait to see you again next time. And all I wrote at the end of this was multiply and divide. Multiply and divide. And we'll see you next time. Thanks for coming, guys.
Bye-bye.
bye.
Bye.
Prog rock axe attack. I wrote that in my notes.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, my notes are quite sparing, but
Stunt rock.
that's
That
a
was
really
stunt
cool.
rock.